Okay, a very good afternoon to everyone here. So today's topic of discussion is another job analysis technique, that is Fleischmann job analysis technique, which is also known as FJAS. Okay, so this is one technique which was being developed by a person called as Edwin Fleischmann, who was a expert in job analysis area. Okay, so this person, he came up with this technique basically to understand the worker specification needed to perform a job or a task. So earlier we discussed about position analysis questionnaire and task inventory. Those two were the techniques which were actually founded, or I can say created for job description, specification, and job evaluation. But whereas this technique was something which was developed by Edwin Fleischmann, especially to find out worker specification. We also can call it as job specification. That is, he tried to find what actually is required, or what qualification is required to perform a particular job or a task. So that was one thing he tried to understand here. Then second thing he tried to understand here was the job dimensions. Okay, so we'll just come to the job dimensions. Basically, job dimensions talk about what are the various areas under which this job is supposed to be performed. Let us say like HR manager, job dimensions become recruitment, job dimensions are selection, performance appraisal, training and development. So these are different areas or job dimensions in which a HR manager is supposed to perform and give his best. So but the basic task of this job analysis technique is to find out the worker's specification. So this technique has something called as behaviorally anchored rating scale. You people had studied BARS method of this performance appraisal during your second semester. The same technique is being used up here, where certain statements are there. Okay, so around 52 statements are there here, which are classified into various categories. And those categories are cognitive, psychomotor, physical, and sensory or perceptual, interactive, social, and knowledge and skill related scales. So these 52 rating scales, they 52 statements are identified here, and those 52 items talk about different abilities. So the first ability is the cognitive ability. So cognitive ability talks about the mental capacity or mental thought process of a person. So what should be the mental level or mental status of a person to perform a particular job? So that statements are defined in this category of cognitive abilities. Then we have psychomotor abilities. Psychomotor abilities are more related to, I had given one simple task in your class. Remember that you have to do perform puja. In one hand you are supposed to hold agarbattis, and in another hand you are supposed to hold the bell, and both of them you are supposed to rotate at the same time. So that is nothing but the test of psychomotor skills, right? So at a single point of time, how your brain works, whether it can do multitasking or what. So that is what you are supposed to understand here. The second category of these 52 abilities, they talk about psychomotor abilities, wherein your mental activity or how fast your brain responds. That is what is tested. Then that is what is understood here. Then we have physical and sensory or perceptual. So again here, when we talk about physical strength, we are talking here. So let us say there are some uh, jobs wherein you may need some physical strength. Okay, so that physical strength is assessed here, right? If at all the job is of a production engineer, what kind of cognitive skills he needs, what kind of psychomotor skills he needs, what kind of physical strength he needs, what kind of sensory or perceptual skills he needs. So that is what is being analyzed here. So sensory, again it talks about I can say brain. Okay, again about how your five senses work basically. Okay, how you perceive the things, how you take the things or receive the things. So these are sensory and perceptual abilities. Again, certain jobs need certain sensory or perceptual abilities. So that is being discussed in these sentences, which are one of the 52 abilities. Then we have interactive or social abilities. So there are some jobs wherein you don't need to have good relationships with other people in the organization, or you don't need to mingle with people, or you don't need to handle human emotions. So but there are some jobs wherein you may need interactive or social abilities, like HR job or marketing job. There, interactive and social skills are highly needed. So there are 9 items which are included in those 52 abilities, which are related to interactive and social abilities. Then we have knowledge and skill abilities. Okay, so 11 items are related to knowledge and skill abilities needed to perform that particular job. So these 52 statements are classified in these following areas, and a questionnaire kind of thing is being prepared. So this questionnaire is being administered to the respondents here. There is a simple process here which, sorry, yeah, there is a simple process here which the Fleischmann has given for applying this Fleischmann job analysis technique. So the first level, it starts with determining the level of analysis. Okay, so here the decision has to be made whether the abilities are to be inferred for the job as a whole or for a specific job dimension. I told you again in the earlier few minutes, job dimensions. So as I told you, a HR manager is supposed to work in various dimensions. He is supposed to work in the area of recruitment and selection, performance appraisal, or training and development, or compensation management, right? So in industrial relation area, right? So there are many areas where HR manager is supposed to work. So these are job dimensions. Okay, so when you are determining the level of analysis, you should first understand whether you are doing this for a particular job as a whole, that is HR manager's job, or only specific job dimension, or only you are doing it for recruitment and selection, or for training and development. So that you have to understand here. So if it is a job as a whole, fine, your way of analyzing the data becomes different. But if you're doing it for a specific job dimension, then again a little bit modifications will be needed when it comes to the statements you are generating in that bars, that is behaviorally anchored rating scales. So that is the first stage, how you apply this Fleischmann technique. The second stage is, it is a bit complicated here. So you need to select job agents, right? So somebody should be there who can administer you or give you answers, no, for your questionnaire. So those are nothing but here job agents. Okay, you can just cannot ask any Tom, Dick, and Harry to come and give you the answers for your questionnaires. So here you have to select those kind of people who are supervisors, or who are experts, who know about the job properly. Okay, or you can also take job incumbents. Job incumbents are such people who are already performing that job in the company. So like HR managers themselves. Okay, if you are analyzing an HR manager job, you can even take HR manager and ask him to fill the questionnaire, or you can even take HR managers of other similar companies and get the questionnaire filled up. So the second task is selecting the job agents. So the first task was, what is the level of analysis? Are you doing it for the whole job, or are you conducting the job analysis only for one specific job dimension? The second step is, who are going to respond to you. So those people you are supposed to be selecting. And how you will select them? You should make sure that they are highly knowledgeable in the job. Okay, so they should, if you are doing a job analysis for the HR manager job, The job agents should be having good knowledge of the HR manager's job. So such kind of people you are going to select. And how many? The question comes up. Around minimum of 20 to 30 respondents you need to get good quality data. Okay, so minimum 20 to 30 respondents you have to select so that you get good quality data. Then third stage is, now you have selected the job agents who are going to respond to your questionnaire. So next stage is rating ability levels for each task. So here, as I said, only tasks that are important to the job should be used in developing and selecting the measures. Therefore, you can use task analysis inventory method combination here to identify the tasks involved in the particular job here. Okay, so those tasks will help you to later rate in the questionnaire here. So let us say, like, if at all, I'll just give an example here. uh, there is a person who is a watch repairer. Okay, so the watch repairer, uh, in terms of vision, okay, so especially I will take only one dimensions of his job, that is identifying the defects in the watch and repairing them, right? So here the rating scale is generated here. In that rating scale, the first stage I can say is, uh, he should be able to read the dials on the dashboard of your car. He should be able to read the fine print on the legal journal. He should be able to detect minor defects in the diamond. So a watch repairer, what is the level of vision in these three should be having? So when I try to think of, so his observation should be very keen, because in watch there are very minute parts which cannot be easily visible to the eyes and which cannot be repaired so easily also, right? So he should have the vision in such a manner that he should be able to detect the minor defects on the diamond. Okay, so this is one technique, or one statement which is related to the vision only. Okay, so that is what I told you. When you are preparing those 52 items, no, but before that you should understand what are the various tasks done in that job. So to identify those tasks, you can have task analysis inventory method also with the combination of FJAS, right? So first you can conduct task analysis inventory, you can collect the data, now you will have the different tasks performed in the job, and based on those tasks, you can start thinking what are the various skills needed to perform that job here. So uh, that rating ability levels for each task is supposed to be fixed here. So what these job agents will do, they are highly knowledgeable about the job, so they will fix the rating abilities for each tasks. Okay, so everything ready they will not get here. This is one complication you can find in this technique. The job agents will fix up the rating ability levels. Okay, so based on that, they will start rating. They will first fix the rating abilities, and then for every task they will fix up the rating levels, and then they will collect the data and analyze the data here. So one example I gave related to vision, like this. For every task done by the HR manager, different levels are fixed up, ability levels are fixed up by these job agents. Okay, so once they are done, then the data is being collected. So for every task, the rating is being fixed here for each ability, and then the data is collected and later it is being analyzed. Okay, so based on that, they will come to know what kind of tests are to be conducted so that you can measure the quality of the HR manager. So selection tests are being generated here. So what kind of cognitive abilities are needed, what kind of perceptual abilities, what kind of mental abilities are needed, all that is being done here. One lucky thing is nowadays this FJAS, there is a handbook. Okay, so everything is written in that handbook. You have to just use that handbook for your company. The list of abilities, the list of qualifications or specifications, everything is listed in FJAS handbook. So you don't have to worry. You just have to use that handbook, administer it in your organization, collect the data, analyze the data, and design the selection processes. Okay, so that is the only thing you are supposed to do. But earlier, before this handbook, there was one big problem, that is fixing the rating, fixing the ability levels for each task to be performed in the job. So that was a very, very complicated process. Luckily, now it is not there. Fleischmann has published a handbook of human abilities. Okay, so for every job you can refer this handbook and you can fix up the ability levels. Okay, so that ready food is available nowadays in the handbook of Fleischmann. Okay, so this is a little bit complicated technique here which you are supposed to understand, where agents only will be fixing up the ability levels. And as I told you, today handbook is available. The job agents will use those handbooks and fix up the ability levels for each task. I will give you a simple example. Let us say one task of a marketing sales executive is to explain the product, okay, and convince the customer to buy that product. So what kind of skill you need here? You need basically sensory perceptual skills. Okay, then with that you also need some cognitive ability. Okay, so you should be able to understand the mind of the customer, and you should be able to sense their emotions and try to convince them. So you may need sensory or cognitive abilities more here when you have to deal with the human beings. So you have identified the ability. Now certain levels have to be fixed up there. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Oh, fine, fine. Thank you. So you have to just fix up the ability levels here. So that is a simple thing which you have to uh, additionally do when it comes to job agents. I gave you an example of a watch repairer himself. When it comes to vision of a watch repairer, what should be the level? He should be able to read the board which is 10 feet away. He should be able to read the numbers on the dial. Okay, he should be able to find out the minor defects in the diamond. So like this, one rating scale has to be fixed up. So that is to be done by the rating, that is to be done by the job agents nowadays. Luckily, as I told you, handbook is available. You can use that for fixing up the ability levels here. Okay, so using that, then you give it to the question. The questionnaire is given to the different 20-30 people. They sit, they answer they fix up the different abilities and choose them, and collecting all those 20-30 responses, there is an expert job analyst who is going to analyze that data, and based on the data being collected by 20-30 people, he will come to a conclusion what kind of specification is needed to perform the particular job. So all the 52 abilities are defined, and based on that selection tests are designed. Selection tests andre ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅವ್ನ ಸೈಕೋಮೋಟರ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾ, ಅವ್ನ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತ್ ನ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾ, ಅವ್ನ ಸೆನ್ಸರಿ ಆರ್ ಪರ್ಸೆಪ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ನ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾ, ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ನ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾ, ಅಥವಾ ಕಾಗ್ನಿಟಿವ್ ಎಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ನ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ತರ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ನಾನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಬೀಂಗ್ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಫೈನಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ process. The, that is how this technique is being administered. So the major advantage of this technique is method is straightforward and easy to adapt. Why it is easy? Earlier it was difficult because the job agents had to design the rating scales. But now everything is available in the handbook of human abilities by Fleischmann. So that is why it is straightforward and easy to adopt. But the method is not appropriate for using content validation, guys, right? So here it does not validate the content. It does not say that this is the appropriate method. Okay, you cannot guaranteely say this. But whereas in the previous position analysis questionnaire, somewhere you can say that yes, these are the job descriptions and specifications need to be performed. Why content cannot be validated here is because you are just asking 20-30 raters here who are going to give their opinions, and just based on those 20-30 raters you cannot just come to a conclusion. It may not be appropriate. It cannot be really appropriate. Akash, sorry. Okay, so that is what you can find. The basic problem with this technique is content cannot be validated. So whatever selection tests have been identified by these 20-30 people, no, so you cannot validate them, you cannot cross verify them, you cannot validate them. So you just collect that data, analyze that data, and just decide upon it. So nobody is there to tell whether it is right or wrong here. So that is one problem with this technique. But still, however, this method may be suitable for few jobs in the organization, especially where psychomotor skills, physical strength, and all is involved. So for such kind of jobs, you can use this Fleischmann job analysis technique. Okay, fine. So any doubts on this? Just remember, guys, what are the various abilities being classified: cognitive, psychomotor, physical, sensory or perceptual, interactive or social, knowledge and skill. First, this you remember. Second is these 5 stages you remember. The first stage is level of analysis, whether it is done for the whole job or whether it is done for only one job dimension. Okay. Second is job agents have to be selected. Third, rating ability levels for each tasks are supposed to be fixed up. Fourth, whatever data is collected, the job analyst or expert will analyze the data and you will get results. Based on that, he will decide upon the selection processes. Okay, only this much you remember, because most of the time this question is not preferable in the examination point of view. But remember these 5 stages with those categories of 52 abilities. So that will be enough for your exam, even though if it is asked for 3 marks or normally for 7 marks, but not preferably in the examination most of the times. Okay, fine. Anything you want to know on Fleischmann job analysis, just ask me. Yes, anybody?
No, ma'am.
Hello, am I audible?
Questions,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So remember those abilities and remember those 5 stages. That is it of the Fleischmann job analysis technique. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So another technique of job analysis is functional job analysis technique. So around 50 plus years ago, this technique was founded by Sidney Fine and his associates. Okay. So juniors who are working under him, together with this person had founded this kind of a technique. So this technique basically uh, talks about two types of information, okay, to be collected here. So what are those two types of information? What the worker is supposed to do, and that is the processes and procedures to be where the worker is supposed to be engaged himself, and how the task is supposed to be performed. So two types of information are collected using this method of analysis. Okay, what the worker does in the organization and how that task is being performed. Okay, so two things are identified here. So whether the task is performed in the context of physical, mental, or interpersonal involvement, so that is being assessed here. So sorry. Okay, so two types of information, as I said, what the worker does, that is what are the procedures or processes where the worker is engaged and the task is being performed, and how that task is being performed. So let us say if the production in the production department there is an assembly line worker, okay, so who is assembling a particular machine to the car. uh, let me take an example of a car assembly line. So there the worker is supposed to fix up a particular part to the car. Okay, that is a continuous process he is supposed to do. So the first question talks about what he does. He fixes up a particular machine to the car. So that is your answer. Okay, how he does it? He uses certain tools to do it. Okay, how that task is being performed? Is it physical ability needed? Is it mental ability needed? So his physical strength is needed, where he is supposed to lift the machine part and then he is supposed to fix it to the car here, right? So like this, two types of information for the tasks are being identified here. So that is what is done in Fleischmann job analysis, sorry, functional job analysis technique. So how it is being applied? So here there are a few stages. There are few stages, that is organizing the job incumbents to analyze the job. So this is the first stage of functional job analysis, wherein the job incumbents who are knowledgeable of the job are being assembled in one area to rate the job. Okay, so as I told you, just Tom, Dick and Harry cannot be suitable here. Okay, so job incumbents, who are they? They are the one who already have knowledge about the job. So such kind of people, 30, 40, 50 people are accumulated, they are assembled in one single place. Okay, the second stage, once you assemble them, the second stage is specify the job outputs for them. In the next step, there are subject matter experts who are asked to specify the outputs they are supposed to produce on their jobs. Okay, so who are these subject matter experts? Subject matter experts are those people who are expert in the area of that particular job. So if you ask them anything about the job, they are ready to tell you. So even the job incumbents also can be subject matter experts, okay, if they are highly knowledgeable in the job. So these subject matter experts are asked to specify the outputs they are supposed to produce on that particular job. So if the car assembly line unit is there and a worker is supposed to fix up a part to that car, what is the job output? In every 1 hour, he is supposed to fix 20 parts to 20 different cars. That is your job output without any errors. So this is what is supposed to be specified here. Then so that actually fulfills the his duty. His output is what? His output is 20 cars are supposed to be fixed up with that particular engines. Okay, that is the job output. So complete car he is not responsible. He is only responsible to, let us say, engine of the car. He is only responsible to fix up the engine of the car. So that is his job output. So in an hour, 20 cars engines have to be fixed. So that will be his job output. So this is supposed to be specified. The third thing is identifying the job task. Now you know the output. Okay, so what is that output? The output is 20 cars have to be fitted with 20 engines. So the third stage talks about identifying the job tasks. To get that output, what all the person is supposed to do, nothing but job task. Okay, that has to be identified. So he is supposed to, here the job tasks means he is supposed to lift up the engine, he is supposed to tighten 10 different nuts, he is supposed to ensure that there are no errors, he is supposed to ensure that not even a single part of that engine is being left out. So there are various small tasks involved when he is fixing up the engine. Just going and keeping the engine, no, it is not the job of his. He is supposed to do some other minor tasks here so that finally the engine is fixed up to the car. So those minor tasks are supposed to be identified. Okay, so that is the third stage, wherein small tasks which are needed to perform and fulfill that output, no, that will be identified here. What actions are performed, what task is being performed, what tools and equipments are being used to perform that job. So those things are identified in the third stage. Then in the fourth stage, they measure the workers' functions. Okay, there is a scale here. There is a scale here which is called as worker function scale. It consists of three things: people, data, and things. So it says that for any job you take, okay, for any job you take, you need three types of things. One is you need people assistance or relationship with the people. Second thing is you need data, that is information to complete that task. And the third thing is you need things, that is equipments or tools to perform the particular job. So now you know that the job output is 20 engines in 1 hour. Job tasks are what? He has to tighten the nuts, he has to ensure that the engine is in the proper place, all those small things. Now to do that task, what are the worker functions needed? How much information is needed or data is needed, whether he needs some people assistance or whether he needs some tools and techniques. That is being analyzed. Okay, so there are various levels here again for fixed up for that. Let us not worry about that, but you just have to understand whether let us take an example of data. Okay, so whether this job of engineer who is fixing up the engine, whether he is supposed to use his mental ability and process the data, do analysis of the data and use it for his job. Nothing like that here. Okay, it is not at all needed here. You don't need to use that data or use any high level data here to perform that particular function. But when we talk about a job of a market research analyst, there he is supposed to work with the data at a very high level. There things are not necessary, that is materials, tools and equipments are not necessary to perform the job. But here an engineer who is fixing up an engine, he needs tools and equipments to perform his job better. So when you are measuring the worker functions, people and data may not be so important for the job, this job what I gave an example, but things, that is tools and equipments may be really very much necessary to perform the job better. Okay, so but if you take a marketing research analyst, no, data may be really important for them, people and things may not be so important. If you take a HR manager job, people and data both may be important, things may not be important. So it depends on job to job. So that is why those job tasks have to be understood first. That is what you do in the third stage. Okay, the fourth stage is you measure the workers functions on three different areas, that is people, data and things. So once you measure that, the fifth stage is measure the workers instructions. Okay, so here if you have to measure the workers instructions here, it provides the measuring it provides for measuring the degree of prescriptions and discretions in the task performance here. Okay, so what happens here when it comes to performing a particular job, whether certain instructions are needed for the worker, that is what is supposed to be measured here. So in the upper stage, what you did, tools and techniques, equipments needed to perform the job, or whether that job requires too much of data, or whether they require